Unity of Tucson. I'm Reverend Jonathan Zenz. I'm the senior minister here. It is a delight to have you join us on this glorious Sunday morning. This song has more of a slow groove, but if you feel like getting up and moving your body, you are welcome to do so as we start the day. My eyes are wide and open. My eyes can see. My mind is filled with knowing. My mind believes. I am awake. I am awake. Here we go. Once you know where your freedom lies, you can't go back and close your eyes. The truth that cannot be denied. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light. My heart is clear and growing. My heart can see. My soul is full of knowing. My soul believes. I am awake. I am awake. Once you know where your freedom lies, you can't go back and close your eyes. The truth that cannot be denied. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light. Once you know where your freedom lies, you can't go back and close your eyes. The truth that cannot be denied. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light. There we go. Good way to get the blood pumping on a Sunday morning. Yes. Once again, good morning, beautiful humans. Welcome to another glorious, glorious day. It's a warm one today. I'll say it's warm. It's hot. I was saying before they announced yesterday, the weather service said that it was 1% humidity yesterday. And, so what they say about a dry heat is true, because it didn't feel horrible, even though we got over 100 yesterday. I think we're going to have the same thing today. It's going to feel like a glorious, glorious day. And every day is a glorious day when we decide for it to be. So let's celebrate that today. What do you say? Yeah. We are a spiritual community here at Unity of Tucson. We are here teaching practical tools for a better life. That is the whole point and purpose in my heart for engaging in a spiritual practice. As I say each day on my daily videos on Facebook and on YouTube, I say, spiritual practice has made my life better by being consistent with it. And so that's what we're here to offer you, is a consistency in engaging spiritual practice in your life. I am going to do this again. Now, last week we had a little technical glitch. And when I asked everybody to get out your phones and check in with those who are watching online through the chat functions on YouTube, Facebook, or on our website, well, what I didn't know is that there was a problem with the stream and we were not streaming last week. So now, this week, I want to say hello to everybody who is watching online and invite you, if you have a smartphone and you can log into YouTube or Facebook or our website, to just go in and send a message through the chat function to say hello to those people who are joining us virtually as our spiritual family. And then, as I like to say, when you're complete with that, please make sure your ringers are turned off, and then you can put your phones away. We are here. I love to say that you may not believe everything you hear today, and that's okay. You may not believe everything you hear today, but what I think is really important is that we tap into those things, first of all, that we do believe, and those things that challenge us, because those things that challenge us are illuminating for us something in our heart, and when we have an awareness of what is in our heart, we get to decide what to do about it. And so that's part of the practical path in spiritual practice. We have a vision and a mission here at Unity of Tucson, and I would love for you to share with me the words of our vision statement. Let's say this together. We envision a world awakened to its magnificence. And the vision is the way we see the world. The mission is how we get there. So let us say the words of our mission statement together. Love only, forgive everything, remember who you are. Just take in the energy of that. Love only, forgive everything, and remember who you are. You are the light, you are the life, you are the love of an of an immaculate, magnificent power that we call God. You are the creative energy of the universe in form. Just check in with that, see how you feel about that. If you are joining us for the first time today, first of all, I would like to say hello to everyone who is joining us for the first time today online. Let you know that we feel your energy here. We are deeply grateful for your decision to be with us today. And if you would like to reach out and connect, you can go to YouTube, or no, not YouTube. It's water. You can go to unitytucson.com/connect, and you can fill out some information there, and we'll be sure to make the connection and get back to you and welcome you into the loving arms of this magnificent community. If you are here in person for the first time, we would love to honor you, and if you feel comfortable with identifying yourself, we have a gift that we would like to give you. So if you're here for the first time and would like to stand up and identify yourself, we'd love to say hello. Is there anyone here joining us for the first time? Welcome. Grateful to have you here. Yes. And remain standing for a moment, if you would, if you don't mind remaining standing for just a moment, because we have another gift, not just the stuff we give you in a goodie bag. We have done our research about you because we knew you were going to be here today. And so in doing our research, we have found out this bit of information about you. Shall we share that with them, everyone? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. You are magnificent. Yes, you are. Thank you for shining your light, sharing your magnificence. You can be seated. Now, of course, we joke that we've done our research, right? But we have. We have, because we've done our research into our own hearts. And you are a reflection of that which is inherent in each and every one of us. So I think that it is important that we be able to exclaim for ourselves this: I am magnificent. How does that feel? Really? Let's say it with gusto one more time. Here we go. I am magnificent. Yes. I have a lot of energy today, as opposed to any other Sunday. Would you please welcome to the lectern and to the table our keeper of the flames today, Mary Alls. Mary is here to help with the ritual that we've adopted here at Unity of Tucson called Lighting the Flames of Faith. And in this, what we are acknowledging and understanding is that every faith tradition, every religion, every spiritual idea is all rooted in one thing. And what we hold in our hearts is that one thing is love. And so that is what we are understanding and choosing to know with each candle that we light. So we begin by lighting a candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light a candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous people, the way of primal spirituality. We light a candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light a candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light a candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light a candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light a candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the divine will of love as the highest calling. We light a candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light a candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And we light a candle for all faith traditions unnamed in this ceremony, and for any seekers who may be unaware of the power and the presence of spirit in their lives, and for the space that we keep open for them in our own hearts. This final candle we light represents the uncovering of the God essence at the core of all circumstance, which is how we define healing, finding that God essence at the core of all creation. And when we are in alignment with that, when we are in attunement with that, and allow that to be the point of view from which we experience healing in the world. So this is your candle for whatever is in your mind and in your heart that requires the light. The candle here on your left is our peace candle, which we keep consistently illuminated with the understanding that it represents a consistent illumination of peace in our own hearts. And as we allow our inner peace to inform our thoughts, our actions, our intentions, our deeds, we experience more peaceful expression in the world, and we get to be the point from which that peace expands into the world. And so let's honor this candle by reading together the prayer for world peace. Divine love indwells each person and radiates from one to another. Harmony is established and peace begins to reign in the world. Indeed it does. And look at this peaceful vision. Grateful to have you here today, as always, Mary. Thank you for sharing. Mary is here as one of the keepers of the flames to reflect on the homework that I gave as part of my Sunday message last week. I will remind everyone, and for those of you who are new to the community, I do give homework every week. That's part of making this practical. And the Keepers of the Flames have been so kind as to honor us with reflections on how the homework worked for them. So last week I offered this. I said, look at the world through new eyes and be resolute in your decision to see rightly. Start with what you can see differently. And last week I said, things that can be challenging, like we can look at Ukraine, and that can be a challenge to see rightly, to see the God essence at the core of it, right? But start with what you can see differently and expand to what you perceive to be more challenging. Caveat, no spiritual bypass. Not, it's all good, it's all great, when everything's falling apart. You have to be able to see that things are falling apart, to live in the awareness and rise yourself into the action of what to do about them. So, tell me what happened for you this past week, Mary, please.
Wow. Well, it started even before I left the church on Sunday. And, of course, I looked at Ukraine because that was the most challenging thing I could think of. And I came up with the way I see things. This doesn't mean it's the way you see things, but this is the way I see things. And the best way for me to do this and to explain, because I'm a little weird. Well, okay, apart from the hair, I'm mostly weird. But I decided to do a parable and keep it short and concise. And you can take it or leave it or whatever. And this is the way I see things. And I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget it. Imagine a place far away between lifetimes, planets, and universes where unconditional love reigns. 3 souls walk into a bar. One soul says, I have been asked to reincarnate on the 3rd rock from the sun. I have to do this to progress. I have to be a hero and a leader and show the humankinds how to be brave, united, and fearless. In doing so, they will have to perform extreme loving acts of kindness, generosity, and sacrifice for others. Second soul says, that doesn't sound too bad. Oh, but it is, said soul number 1. I have to ask someone to love me enough to be the exact opposite. I need a horrible leader to wage war on my country, commit atrocities on my people, as well as his own. He will be hated and hopefully die a terrible death. Soul number 3 says, ooh, I don't know about that. But okay, I love you, and I will do that for you because I know the planet's souls need progressions towards knowing their God consciousness, and it will accelerate that in a way that can only grow in the hardest of times. Well, soul number 2 says, I'm not doing anything. He says, so how can I help? Joe, you can lead a powerful nation and try to bring peace, but mostly support me as I lead my people through a devastated country. You can help people realize they are one world with humanity, and everyone must love one another in extraordinary ways. So it was. Now, how I look at it is sometimes unfortunate conditions exist, but we must have the power to be magnificent. Perhaps this war was created out of love, really out of love and not hatred. So we might progress, learn to perform great acts of love, kindness, and respect with one another. If we do not use this as an opportunity to love only, forgive everything, and be magnificent, what a terrible waste. So it is.
So it is. Mary All, thank you so much. Just having a moment. Thank you so much for that, Mary. I'm going to gather myself, and while I'm gathering myself, I would love for you to welcome for a reading, affirmation, and prayer, which we are now calling the RAP, Reading, Affirmation, Prayer. One of our prayer chaplains today, Laura Cass.
Yes. Whew. Thank you, Mary. Well, I haven't been up here for a long time, months actually, so it's really great to see all your faces. I've been sitting in the back looking at the back of your heads, so I'm really glad to see your faces, for sure. The last few weeks, what we've been talking about is power, all kinds of power. The power for this, the power for that. Last week after I went home and we were talking about the power of power, I thought there are so many meanings, so many synonyms. I looked this up, and there's like 50 or 60 different things that can mean power, depending on where your brain comes from. Power can be that thing where we just, plug the toaster into the wall. Or it can mean things like strength, vigor, control, mastery. But what does power really mean? It means the ability to do something or act in a particular way. So then I think, what is the most important power I have? The most important power, and what we talk about here in Unity all the time, is the power of love. So how do I use that power of love? What does that actually mean? I can use that power of love to make a difference. Make a difference in the world. And frankly, I think that's why we're all here, is to make a difference in the world. And your world can be as big just as you are, or your neighbor, or your family, or larger than that. But that's why we're here, I strongly believe, is to make a difference in the world. And we're only going to do that if we can do, and it's pretty much what Mary was talking about, looking past all those differences that we may have with one another. And so I want to read to you this morning from Louise Hay, and what Louise has to say about this. Love is deeper than differences. The new energy on the planet is loving. I spend time every day opening my mind and my heart to feel a kinship with all people. No matter where I was born or raised, no matter what color skin I have or what religion I was raised to believe in, everything and everyone is plugged into the one power, and through it all, our needs are met. I have warm, loving, open communication with every member of my earthly family. There are those who look at life so differently. There are the younger ones, the older ones, straight ones, gay ones, different colored ones. I am a member of Earth's community. Differences of opinion are wonderful, colorful varieties of expression, not a reason to take sides or go to war. As I dissolve prejudice in myself, the whole planet is blessed. Today, my heart opens a little more as I go about the work of creating a world where it is safe for us to love one another. So, let's take that into our heart space. And I'm going to read the affirmation to you for the month. I will read it. Think deeply on this. And when I am through, we will recite it together twice, meaningfully and thoughtfully. I am powerful, capable, confident, and self-assured. I know this because I know who I am. Together, I am powerful, capable, confident, and self-assured. I know this because I know who I am. Once more. I am powerful, capable, confident, and self-assured. I know this because I know who I am.
I'm going to do something that I don't normally do at this point, but I would love for us to all just look around and catch the eyes of other people in this room. Just recognize the God essence that you see in the magnificent faces all around you. Just take this moment.
In this very room, there's quite enough love for all the world. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for all the world. And there's quite enough light and quite enough power to walk through every fear. One spirit is in this very room.
And so, that spirit is here, in us and among us, as we look around and realize that we are all truly one in the same universe, and it is our love that pulls us together.
In this very room, there's quite enough love for all the world. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for all the world. Yes, there's quite enough love and quite enough power to open every heart. One spirit is in this very room, in this very room, in this very room. So it is. Amen.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you.
I'm going to hold on to this. I had a lot of thoughts this week about what my message was going to be, and thoughts that occurred to me earlier in the week than they usually do. Truth be told, I usually give a title. I'm like, I guess I'll figure that out on Sunday morning. But this one came to me very early this week, and then the irony is the featured song choice of the day came very late to me in the week, but this is what came up for me. Take all of your wasted honor, every little past frustration. Take all of your so-called problems, better put them in quotations. Say what you need to say, say what you need to say. Say what you need to say, 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 say what you need to say. Walking like a one-man army, fighting with the shadows in your head, living out the same old moment, knowing you'd be better off instead if you could only say what you need to say, say what you need to say, say what you need to say, say what you need to say. Say what you need to say, say what you need to say, say what you need to say, say what you need to say. Have no fear for giving in, have no fear for giving over. You better know that in the end, it's better to say too much than never to say what you need to say again. Even if your hands are shaking and your faith is broken, even as the eyes are closing, do it with a heart wide open. Say what you need to say, 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 say what you need to say. Thank you. I brought this little piece of paper up today that has the 5 basic Unity principles printed on it. And sometimes I think that we forget to refer back to these. We talk about principle all the time, and sometimes we forget to refer back and say, well, what are the principles, right? Can anyone tell me what the principles are? Just tell me. It's okay, because I can tell you what the principles are using my own language, but I just want to read this. Number 1, there is only one presence and one power, active as the universe and as my life, God, the good. 2, our essence is of God, therefore we are inherently good. This God essence was called the Christ and was fully expressed in Jesus. 3, we are co-creators with God. creating reality through thoughts held in mind. 4, through prayer and meditation, we align our heart-mind with God. Denials and affirmations are tools we use. 5, through thoughts, words, and actions, we live the truth we know. That's the entire philosophy. Everything distills back to that. Everything distills back to that. Everything distills back to love only, forgive everything, remember who you are. That's what this is talking about. Knowing the truth of our being so deeply that we act in accordance with that truth. And are we doing that all the time becomes the question. Because for many, it may be a tall order. I know it was a tall order for me for a long time. Still working on it. Still working on it. So this month, Laura said, we talked all about power, right? This is the third Sunday this month. We have 5 Sundays this month. Isn't that exciting? And we've been working our way through the 12 powers as articulated by Charles Fillmore. And this month is the month where we talk about the power of power. Power as an aspect of our beingness. And so I asked the question, and I continue to ask the question every Sunday, what is power? You alluded to that today. What is power? There are so many definitions for what power is. Well, the power I think we're really talking about when we talk about this aspect of our beingness is the power of creation itself. Now, if we hold to the notion, as we do in the teaching, that God is all there is, and we are part of all that is, then we must be, each and every one of us, expressions of God. In knowing this, in allowing this to be the point of view from which we experience life, we are activating the power of creation in every aspect of our life. And so, when we pray, there is a call to this idea, a call to the one power, the power of infinite creation. When we articulate in prayer using lowercase w words, and I'll tell you why that's going to be important in just a moment, but lowercase w words, the expression through language, we are articulating as best we can the one power, the one presence, the one spirit, which is the truth of our being. What is our connection to it? How many of us, and this is a rhetorical question, I'm not looking for a show of hands. I'm asking you to check in with yourself to see to what degree you still believe that there is something out there that is separate from you, that has dominion over you, that has power over you. Because a lot of us are raised in a particular society and in a particular culture where that becomes the paradigm. We believe that we must conform ourselves to all of that stuff out there in order to be liked. I talked a lot about that last week. We don't need to be liked. We like to be liked, but we don't need to be liked. There's a difference. Now, I think it's good that we work in communication and cooperation with each other, and naturally, liking each other will flow from that. That's okay. So what is our connection to the power? Well, the connection to the power is that we are the power. So how does it get used? How does it get used? That's what today is all about. Well, essentially, say what you need to say. Say what you need to say. There is only one power. There is only this power of creation. That's it. And let's consider creation. And I debated going down this path a little bit. Let's consider creation in terms of what quantum physicists are talking about these days. And if you think quantum physics is beyond your understanding, you are right. Because quantum physics is even beyond the understanding of quantum physicists. So you're in really good company. So if we consider this aspect of creation through the lens of quantum physics, essentially what we perceive as creation is the collapsing of a wave of potential into an expression of time and space. You still with me? Have I completely lost you? Creation is the collapsing of a wave of potential into an expression of time and space. We are immersed in a sea of potentiality. We are immersed in a sea of potential. And the way that we experience that potential is using our mind, our use of this infinite mind, to collapse that potential into the expression of time and space. Why do I go down this road? Because for me, it articulates in a different way the creative process, which is what we're always talking about. Our thoughts create our experience. That's what that's talking about. And I'm moving past the notion of thoughts are things, even though that is the title of my book that I wrote. And the title of many books. Many of us have written books called Thoughts Are Things. But here's what I'm turning to, and this may be the second book I write. Things are thoughts. Think about it. Things are thoughts. And so everything that you experience began as a thought, as a belief, as a feeling. So before this collapse of potentiality into the expression of time and space, and here's the thing, language is limited. I talk about that all the time. Language is limited because we cannot actually conceive of the infinite potentiality being collapsed into expression, into reality, outside of a linear, spatially restricted idea. But what it is potential beyond any limitation. So what tool do we have at our command to actively collapse the potential into reality? Well, there are some tools that we talked about. Number 5, through thoughts, words, and actions, we live the truth we know. Through prayer and meditation, this is number 4. Through prayer and meditation, we align our heart-mind with God. That's how we collapse these waves of potential into expression. And if we are committing ourselves to live the lives of peace, to live the lives of love, to live the lives of joy, then that must be what we are choosing to collapse into expression. And that takes work. Nobody wants to hear that, right, William? I just tease William because we used to have this conversation all the time. And I teased him in class and said, this stuff is work, right? Until when, William?
It's not.
It's work until it's not. But that's the joy of this, is the more you practice it, and that's why we say, be consistent in your practice. The more we practice it, the easier it gets, and the easier life becomes, and the more joyful life becomes. That's what all faith traditions essentially teach. They are all working in the direction of what would you like to experience today? Think about it. Allow your thoughts, beliefs, and feelings to collapse that potential into the expression and experience of your life. To collapse the potential, to make it experiential, we provide the Word with a capital W.
Could you try again?
I don't know if you heard that. My watch heard me say, experiential, we provide the Word. And then it said, I didn't get that. Could you try again?
One more time.
To collapse the potential, to make it experiential, we provide, ready? I'm going to do it again, the Word. Well, thank you. And here I'm talking about word with a capital W. And here's how Charles Fillmore has talked about the Word. The Word gives order and regularity to the movement of things and is the divine dynamic, the energy and self-revelation of God. Notice the Word, the W is capitalized. So we're not talking about language here. We're talking about the energy of creation behind it all. And we've given it this word, Word, which confuses everyone to no end. In the faith tradition that I was raised in ministry, the founder of that tradition, Ernest Holmes, said the word means the ability of God to declare itself into manifestation. The word means the ability of God to declare itself into manifestation. The word is intention. The word is intentional. It is not just a good idea or a flippant kind of thing coming off the tongue. The word is action. And we are all living the word whether we are aware of it or not, because every aspect of our expression is rooted in the energy of the word, the energy of that divine dynamic, the energy and self-revelation of God, who is you, who is me, who is each and every one of us. So we are constantly allowing that word to come forth into expression and into action. We just like to make it all convoluted by capitalizing this word and not capitalizing that word. You know, language is a clumsy tool. But look at the quote. The word gives order and regularity. The word is not magical, even though I do like to end my prayers sometimes by saying abracadabra. The word itself is not magical. That energy is not magical. It is the core essence of our being, and we are consistently using it because our lives are consistently flowing forth into experience. So the question becomes, how will you use it today? In what direction will you direct the word? The word is the self-revelation of God. Therefore, it is our self-revelation. The word is the energy backing all of creation. This manner of collapsing potential into expression is not just in the words you speak, but in the energy behind them. Which is why when I teach people to pray, and that's one of the things we do, we teach people to pray. When I teach people to pray, I tell them, I don't care about the words you use. You don't have to make your prayer flowery. What I am interested in is what is the energy and the feeling that is infused in how you are expressing that prayer, because that is the capital W word. I encourage a feeling tone in the expression and experience of prayer, which is a way, I said it last week or the week before, feeling tone is one of the ways that I have defined God in my life. And the word is all over the place. The very first words of John, in the beginning was the Word. And the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The energy of creation is what we're talking about. That's what God is. That's what God is. Now, looking into Scripture, as I am wont to do on occasion, remembering that everything is a translation, I stepped back and I went to find the Greek. I'm not a Greek scholar, I want to be really clear. But I went and I looked at the Greek to really deepen into a sense of what is it that is wanting to be expressed here that perhaps is lost in translation into English. And the Greek word for word is logos. Logos has many meanings, has many contextual meanings. But one of my favorites is this. Logos can mean expectation. Logos can mean expectation. So what if we changed this? In the beginning was expectation. And expectation was with God, and expectation was God. Are you living a life of expectation, of expectancy? Are you living the life where love is what you expect, where peace is what you expect? Or are you walking through life tacitly going, yes, I really want love, but this is all the things that's happening out here? Because that's setting up your expectation. And you know what you're going to continue to experience? I don't mean to be directive. Let me talk about it this way. Sometimes I walk through life, I'm like, love is all that I want. And yet I look at the things out there and I say, love is not what I'm getting. And I start to align myself with the things out there. And that becomes my expectation, to have a continuation of that junk. forgetting who I am. Forgetting who I am. And so my work becomes remembering who I am. To know that the feeling tone of God is the truth of my being. How about you? Rhetorical. All of this is applicable to our own experience, all of it. The infinite nature of creation that is God is applicable to our experience because we are consistently creating our experience as God. In the beginning was the Word, and we decided how we felt about the Word and the degree of belief behind the Word. And we empowered our lives rooted in the limitations of those feelings and those beliefs. If you want to look at what you think you know about life and about God, look at your life, because your life is flowing forth according to that. Who will you choose to be today? A result of that frame of mind to start to let go of the power and live in the limitation. Part of the result is to discount our own use of the power of creation. And what happens when we do that is that power, the construct and concept of power, turns itself into force or coercion, where we think we've got to get in there and work it, do it, right? True power comes from knowing the truth of your being, rooting your thoughts, beliefs, and feelings in alignment with that, and living easefully and gracefully with the flow. Force and coercion, how do you think that's going to work out? What do you think is more lasting in creating our experience? That which comes from force, or that which flows forth easily and gracefully from our innate power? Our work is the work of self-mastery. I'm glad that you mentioned mastery in one of your definitions. That is our work. Our work is the work of self-mastery. In self-mastery comes the realization, the true realization, that force isn't necessary to express true power. Are we going through life trying to coerce, or are we growing through life with grace and with ease, just like a seed planted? Doesn't need to force, it just expresses itself. I have found that attempts at coercion are a surefire way to alienate. Anyone ever have that experience? If they only did it my way. That alienation just continues to compound until we make a new decision, and as it compounds, it creates a greater sense of separation, and ultimately, it's not even around separation from somebody else, it's separation from the truth of our being. Separation is the only thing we are ever trying to heal. We talk about the healing candle as the revelation of the God essence at the core of all creation. What we are talking about is that when we feel separate from that God essence, that is when we experience dis-ease. That is when we experience discord in our life. So the only thing we are ever trying to heal is the sense of separation. When you know who you are, life unfolds accordingly. So say what you need to say. Say it with compassion. Say it with willingness to be wrong. And an openness to understand. And if there is conflict, resolve it where it resides. Resolve it where it resides. We often deflect our power into a thing called complaining. That is not resolving conflict where it resides. There are some guidelines for how you can do this. You know, interpersonal communication is a great tool that we have. So here are some guidelines, perhaps, on how you can use the word effectively. The word with a capital W. If you have a problem with me, and I'm going to talk first person. If you have a problem with me, come to me privately. If I have a problem with you, I will come to you privately. If someone has a problem with me and they come to you, Send them to me, and I will do the same for you. Please do not interpret me. I prefer you to ask me what I mean, and I will be careful not to interpret you. If I feel unclear, I will ask you what you meant. If something is confidential, do not tell me. If something is confidential, do not ask me to tell you. Please do not hint to me, hoping I will understand. Please say exactly what you mean, and I will not hint to you, hoping you understand my meaning. I will say exactly what I mean. Do not complain, which is different than engaging for the purpose of healing. I already talked about that. Don't take anything personally. And when in doubt, just say it. If we're not taking anything personally, then how can we possibly be offended by anyone else saying what they need to say? Say what you need to say. Know that the power of creation resides in you as the Word. Now, these can be guidelines, not only for better communication, but clarity in creating the life you desire, free from limitation, free from innuendo, and free from judgment. Doesn't that sound like a nice life to live? Yeah. The power of the Word is the power we invest in expectation, rooted in love, understanding, and wisdom. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word is with you, and the Word is you. You are God. Greatness on demand. Peace and blessings. You are magnificent. So this week, I would like you to consider, as homework, clarifying some misunderstanding that you may have had in your life. Clarify some misunderstanding this week. Activate your expectation for clarity, and then act upon that. Meditate daily on the idea that things are thoughts projected through the lens of belief and feeling. That's the homework this week. I'm going to invite you to just relax right where you are and see if there's anything that's come up for you that feels like it's the kernel of truth that you get to walk away with today. Just allow yourself this opportunity to relax with ease and with grace. Just allow.
In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release. As my heart opens up to the voice, I awake to these precious moments when I hear all that could ever be said, and right here in this holy silence I find God, I find myself, I find God, I find myself, for they are one and the same. Rooted in a deep awareness and acceptance of this truth that we are that power, which is because there is only one infinite power, the power of infinite divine creation. Knowing that this is the truth and allowing this to be the point of view from which all flows forth, and in knowing that God God is our identity. I affirm on behalf of each and every one of us that there is that within that is flowing with grace and with ease into the magnificent expression of this thing called life, and what a blessing that is. What a blessing that is. I trust and know that each and every one of us activates the capacity within to live according to the word, the expectation, the magnificent allowing of potential to become all that is. I give over to this with a magnificently graceful heart, allowing gratitude to overflow from within. I know that my word spoken is complete, for it is backed by the power of infinite creation, for it is the power of infinite creation. I simply let it be as I relax, let go, trust and know it to be. And so it is. Amen. In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release. As my heart opens up to the voice, I awake to these precious moments when I hear all that could ever be said. And right here in this holy silence, I find God. Oh, I find God. I find myself.
Would you please welcome the treasurer of our board of directors, Steve Ross, to the platform.
Good morning, guys. So we're 4 months into the year. Will you believe that? 1/3 of the year is done. So let me give a 1-minute treasurer's report. So income is about 3.5% to 4% over our budget. Yay! Expenses are about 1 to 1.5% below budget, which means we're running a surplus right now, just 4 months into the year, so you can't get too excited yet, of about $4,000. So just keep up the good work. Now, I did want to talk to you all. It's going to be 100 degrees here for a couple days, so all of you that are going online and looking at condos in San Diego or calling the kids back in the Midwest, see if you can come visit. Remember, the rest of us who still work are still going to be here, so make sure you write a big check before you leave so we can continue with our work here. So anyway, you don't want to pay that 58 cents for a stamp to put a check in the mail every week. Write a big check before you leave. All right, ready?
Well, yes. Also, you can also text. There are electronic ways of giving. You can also become part of
Right,
pre-authorized giving. All of that stuff.
Sign up, all that good stuff.
You hear the same spiel every week, right? Do y'all know how to give? Yes. All right. Then let's take whatever it is we're holding to give and place it by our hearts. Let's share this together. I share this gift with love, conscious of the inner presence as the lavish source and substance of my supply. I am rooted in the assurance that this gift blesses Unity of Tucson, and I trust in its ever-present circulation, knowing its blessings return to me, and so it is. As the baskets go around, feel free to move your body. I celebrate
knowing my oneness with everything else, I know that all that I give to myself. Knowing my oneness with everything else, I know that all that I give to myself.
Woo, thank you. Would you please welcome Sue Craig to do a blessing of the offering?
Good morning.
Good morning.
So let's take just a moment, go to that place inside where our true identity lives, our authentic self. Let's connect with God. Let's connect with infinity. And as we do that, let's pull that sense of gratitude. Gratitude for the gifts that we've received today. Gratitude for the hands and the hearts and the minds that touch those gifts at the inception all the way through. And gratitude for all the good that goes forward and all the hands and minds and hearts that we will touch. And with that, we bless these gifts. We bless each other as a community. And we give thanks for all the goodness that surrounds us, flows in us, and through us. I trust, believe, accept, and I know that all this goodness is so. I claim it, and so it is.
And so it is. Amen. Thank you so much, Sue. Thank you, thank you. A couple of things that are happening here. Of course, I've been announcing every week we have a summer study series coming up based on the book by Joe Dispenza, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. That begins on Wednesday, the 25th of May. You can sign up for that in the bookstore or online, whichever better suits you. Would love to see you all there. It's going to be a great exploration through the summer. It's going to be 8 classes spread over 10 weeks because there are 2 weeks where I'm going to be out of town. So you'll get a little extra time to do the reading because people are always like, so much reading. It doesn't have to be a lot of reading. We have begun Bears in the Chairs. It began last week, so we have some stuffies that are down there. And yes, look at this sweet little guy. We collect every year between Mother's Day and Christmas in July, which is the last Sunday in July. We invite you to bring a new unstuffed animal. Sometimes I get ahead of myself in a weird way.
Is that a bear skin?
It was what I meant to say was unwrapped stuffed animal. We invite you to bring a new unwrapped stuffed animal that we will be collecting here during this season. At the end of that, we will be taking all of that and contributing them through Aviva to support children who are in the care of the Department of Child Safety. Another way that you can support that is we do have tote bags, which we have volunteers sew together. If you would like a tote bag kit, they are available in the lobby just outside the bookstore where the administrative offices are. So pick those up. And Kathy's holding one up back there. Yes. Thank you, Kathy. As I said last week, they're super easy to make. They're all straight stitches. I can do it, so can you. So if you have a sewing machine, it's easier with a sewing machine. If you have a sewing machine, pick up a tote bag kit and let's make some tote bags. Also, what's happening? Unitix Happy Hour, Friday at 5 p.m. This week's happy hour is happening at Canyon's Crown Restaurant and Pub. If you would like more information about that, please see Molly. Hello, Molly. Yes, there she is. See Molly in the lobby. Another thing that's happening with Unitix is we're going to have some outings to the opera at Elcon Mall. So you get to see the opera on the screen. This week, this Saturday, the opera is Lucia de Lammermoor by Gaetano Donizetti. And that's one that I remember going to when I used to go to the Arizona Opera when I was in elementary school, because I went to school just down the street from the convention center, and so we would get to go as students to the dress rehearsals for all the operas. So I saw so much opera as a kid, you would not even believe it. So anyway, that was always one of my favorites. So go check that out. The youth need you. We are always looking for more people to support our youth program. Now, I want to be very clear. Supporting the youth program does not mean that you get caught over there and you never get to come to a Sunday. If you have a story that you would like to read, if you have a craft that you would like to bring to the kids, if you have something that you can bring that is your unique self to that experience, we would love to have you there just one Sunday, but those kids are the future. And if we are teaching them self-respect, self-esteem, and self-reliance, which is what we stand for, through knowing who they are, then we are creating a better world for all of us. So we would love to have you support that. If you were intending to go to the gala dinner committee meeting today, it is being postponed. It will be meeting on June 5th. Sherry got back from Hawaii last night, was feeling a little under the weather, so better to, stay home and rest up and be well than to potentially bring it here. And I am grateful for that. So the other thing is, and I didn't get a slide for this, but I will for next week, Molly, I promise. Unitix is going to start monthly outings, and I believe in June you're going to Leaping Lizards Gallery. Is that correct? Yes. I'm saying yes. So in June, the information for that is in the lobby. The sign up for that is in the lobby. Our prayer chaplains in service today are Laura Cass and Sue Craik. They will be available in the sanctuary following the service today if you need a moment of prayer. You can also always fill out a prayer request form and drop it into the prayer box. If you are online, you can go to our website and submit a prayer request through our website. And you can also send email to prayer@unitytucson.com, and those are all ways that you can submit your requests. And one thing I would like to say about that is the very activity of submitting the request is the beginning to healing. Don't ever forget that. So don't be afraid to utilize our services in prayer as best you can. I want to say thank you to everybody who made today the magnificent experience it has been and continues to be. Wally, Don, and Rowan, our technical team back there, thank you so much for your service today. I want to say thank you to Steve Ross for your participation in leading our offering today. Mary Alls, the Flames, thank you so much. Yes, yes, yes. Our prayer chaplains today, Laura Cass and Sue Craik, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's give it up for Linda Ackerman and the band. Thank you. And of course, I do want to say thank you for being here. Each and every one of you. And as I say each week, not just for being here at Unity, but for being here in this world. You are a blessing, you are magnificent, and I am deeply grateful for you every single moment of the day. As we complete our time here, let us share together these words of divine awareness. I am infinite light. I am infinite love. I am infinite power. I am infinite presence. Wherever God is, I am. Wherever I am, God is. And so it is. Amen. Feel free to stand with the peace song. Now there is peace on earth, for it has begun.